There are times on TV shows when things get heated, and you may have seen a guest or two walk off the set. I'm trying to think of a time, but I haven't. I can't think of a time. And you'd think somebody would walk off with me, and it hasn't happened to me. But today, two hosts walked off their set. Why? Well, Joy Behar and Whoopi Goldberg of The View, I mean, who would have thunk it? They're so pulled together, both of them. They were running away from our very own Bill O'Reilly. The anchor of the O'Reilly Factor is with us now, Mr. Bill O'Reilly, the author of Pinheads and Patriots. Bill, before I get to you, I want to get your reaction from what happened today. Here it is.
70% don't want it down.
But why is that? But why aren't we saying...
It's inappropriate.
Why is it inappropriate when 70 families died? What are you
killed
talking
us
about?
on 9/11.
Oh, my God. That is...
Muslims didn't kill us on 9/11? Is that what you're saying?
Excuse me, extremists.
What religion were they in?
What religion was Mr. McVeigh? Mr. McVeigh was an extremist as well, and he killed people.
70% of the country.
I don't want to sit here. I don't want to sit here.
You're outraged about Muslims killing us on 9/11.
It was a better show after they left, but maybe that's just me. Barbara Walters seemed to be the only adult, at least on that side of the couch. Barbara Walters actually said this is exactly what's wrong with America. We can't get up and just walk away from conversations and debates on the issue. Bill, while I disagree with your reasoning on the mosque, on why you don't think it should be built there, what happened?
I don't know. I mean, I just told the truth that Muslims attacked us on 9/11, and I guess I wasn't sensitive enough for Ms. Behar or Ms. Goldberg, and I apologize for not being sensitive enough. But I think after almost 10 years, we all got that it was Muslim extremists. As I say on The Factor tonight, when we're talking about World War II, do we say we were attacked by Japanese extremists? No, we say we were talking about Japanese attackers. Not every Japanese, but that was the group. And so the group that
do you
attacked
think if you
were Muslims.
Do you think if they would have had, let's say, Michael Moore on, not to compare you to Michael Moore, and I apologize to you, but if you would have had Michael Moore on and he said, these Tea Party people, they're all terrorists, do you think any of them would have gotten up or even gotten heated at that?
No, I don't believe anybody would have walked off if Michael Moore had said the Tea Party people are racist. But look, the big issue that I want your audience, in case they didn't see the program today, was that I was saying there is a gulf between the president and many Americans, and that's hurting him in the polls along with the economy. And the gulf is that when he was asked about the wisdom of the 9/11 mosque, he wouldn't answer the question. And most Americans, according to the CNN poll, which I cited, agree with me that it's an inappropriate place to put a mosque because of what happened on 9/11.
I agree with you.
That was the point of it. It wasn't that I went on The View to attack Muslims. I like Muslims. I want them to buy Pinheads and Patriots. Why would I alienate 1.5 billion people worldwide, some of whom might pony up money to buy the book?
No, it's...
All right, I'm not trying to...
You know what?
No?
It's that kind of charitable heart that I think makes Bill O'Reilly Bill O'Reilly.
I like Hindus, I like Moluccans, okay. I like everybody.
Whatever. All right, Bill. The thing that really drove me nuts was the fact that they kept bringing it back to Timothy McVeigh. First of all, Timothy McVeigh didn't blow anybody up in the name of God. Had he blown up anybody in the name of God, he would have been just as wrong spiritually as he was psychologically for blowing people up in the first place. But they always try to equate extremist Muslims with Christians, not calling them extremist Christians. And maybe you know better than I, but I don't believe that Timothy McVeigh was an extremist Christian.
I mean, it's not even,
I don't remember
it's not even a valid argument point, because McVeigh and his little crew doesn't represent anything. They're just crazy guys, killers, murderers, and we put them away and they got what they deserve. The Muslims who attacked us on 9/11 are part of the jihad, which is a movement. And the movement has not been confronted by the so-called moderate Muslims, good Muslims. They haven't confronted the jihad.
Some have. Some have.
Very few.
Very few, but Zuhdi Jasser comes to mind.
If all of the moderate Muslims throughout the world would confront the jihad, the jihad couldn't exist. The jihad exists because governments let the jihad exist.
I have talked to moderate Muslims. Zuhdi Jasser is one of them. I believe you know him as well.
Yeah, sure.
Zuhdi has said to me several times, it is attitudes like what they just gave on The View that hurt the moderate Muslim.
I don't think any Muslim was hurt by that exposition, okay?
No, wait, listen to me. They're saying that it hurts because people are not saying there is a difference between them. Help the people inside stand up. Make sure that you call a spade a spade. This is wrong. What do you call it? Not jihad, but what do you call the extreme Muslim way of living that they want? Sharia.
Right.
That by not saying Sharia should not be practiced here in the United States under no circumstance hurts the moderate Muslim.
The truth that many liberal Americans don't want to acknowledge is if you look at every opinion poll in the Muslim world, most Muslims don't believe 9/11 was even committed by al-Qaeda, okay? They have a very low favorability of America, even with Barack Obama in charge. There is a tension between the Muslim world and America because we're infidels. You heard it on Christiane Amanpour's program on ABC News. She brings a Muslim cleric on from London, and he goes, hey, pretty soon the flag of Islam's going to fly over the White House. Now, are we just supposed to ignore all this? There is tension between the Muslim world and America. And I'm going to tell the truth, and that is the truth.
Okay. Bill O'Reilly, truth teller, and also best-selling author, Pinheads and Patriots.
Thanks, Beck.
Thank you, Bill. We'll talk to you again. You watch the whole, I mean, it's amazing. You will learn so much about the left and their willingness to have a conversation and tolerate other people's opinions. You'll see it all tonight on the O'Reilly Factor, at 8 o'clock. They tell me it's on at 8. I'm not really sure. I don't. Tonight. Back in a minute. I told you, when was it? Was it Wednesday when I got back? Was it yesterday? It's only Thursday, isn't it? I have been, in the last few weeks, I have had some disturbing things happen with me and doctors. I have what appears to be small fiber neuropathy, which a lot of people have. It's tingling and loss of feeling in the hands and the feet, and it's traveling up. I can feel, it's like my arms are asleep all the time. I can feel the tingling if I do that. Cold, and feels like somebody has hobbled my feet, and my hands are cold all the time. They think I also have Raynaud's, or I don't know what the heck it is, which is no big deal as well. And also I've had a problem with my vocal cords. The doctors, this is what really freaked me out last week and why I was a little philosophical with you last week. They found out that my vocal cords are actually in partial paralysis on one side. It's a vocal fold. And I didn't know what it was about. So this weekend I flew out to the Huntsman Cancer Institute, and I met with doctors there and also in New York. And I did every test under the sun. And the good news is they thought I might have cancer, they thought I might have MS, and they thought I might have lupus. I don't have any of those things. So now we're just down to the really annoying little things, you know. But I was blessed to have an unbelievable doctor who, after he went through all the medical things, he brought the conversation back to where I had started. And I told him when we first sat down, and he said, "What's happening with you?" And I said, "Well, I don't have a Nemo moment. When there's a problem, and when you're having a problem and you see things that you know and love changing, you have a couple of ways of dealing with things. You can get angry about it, which doesn't lead to anything. You can unplug, which God will hold you accountable if you don't say anything and you're just like, I'm not paying attention to it anymore. Or you can have your Nemo moment, and here's what I mean. The big monster comes at you, and you're the little starfish. Watch.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, happy place. Find a happy place. Find a happy place.
You can find a happy place. I think I'm a man that is split from myself. I grew up in an alcoholic family, and I was kind of the one that's, everything was shaken down around us, and I'm like, hey, everybody, let's laugh. And I don't like conflict, even though that's what I seem to do for a living, is say things that cause conflict. I don't like it. But I find myself here. I find myself as a dad and an American citizen feeling like, well, it has to be said. Nobody else is saying it, and I believe it, so I have to say it. But I have to find my Nemo. I have to find my happy place. And I hope you've seen a change in the last couple of days, and it's going to be tough, but I recommend that you do it as well, and we do it together. Because anger or unplugging is not going to help us at all. I started the show, this episode, with teach men correct principles and let them govern themselves. That's who we are. We're Americans, and we govern ourselves. We help each other. That's the way it happens. It's America. You saw a quintessential version of America inside that cave with those trapped miners. They turned to each other. They turned to their God, and they held on together. There was another choice. They could have gotten angry, or they could have unplugged. They could have gone mad. They didn't. They turned to God. They turned to each other. And then those on the surface went and helped as well. That's what we do. Teach correct principles. Teach history. I'm asked all the time, so Glenn, okay, we understand the problem. What are we going to do about it? I'm going to try to show you. But I'm not going to give you some political answer, because the answers don't lie with the Republicans or the Democrats or the independents. The answers are in us. We fix ourselves, we fix our home, we fix our children, we will fix our community, we'll fix our politicians, because we won't vote for dirtbags like that. They'll know they can't get away with it, because we won't stand for it. That's what we need to start doing. I appreciate all of the prayers that have come my way from you and your families, and keep them up. I can use them. But just for clarity and just to make sure that I keep my feet on the right track. Thanks for watching. More in a second. Tomorrow you will find out the story of stuff is not just in our schools. It is now attempting to infiltrate our churches through the Word of God. We now have Let There Be Stuff, a 6-session curriculum that helps, quote, Christian teens explore the relationship between their consumption, their faith, and the health of the planet. Here's a potential Let There Be Stuff ad for churches to put in their church bulletins. Do you ever wonder what you can do to make the biggest difference in the future of the planet? Do you want to feel closer to God while you're doing it? If the answer is yes, praise Jesus, and you're between 13 and 18 years old, then you can have a great adventure ahead. Here's an excerpt of a suggested class reading from the curriculum. Ready? Quote, we saw that all the things that have to happen in order for our economy to keep growing and growing, how it depends on consuming as much as possible, as fast as possible, how the way our stuff is being produced is trashing the planet, poisoning us, and how we're not having any fun while we're at it. Now, who is funding all this church stuff? Oh, our good friends, the Tide Center. Stuff is also partnered with Green Faith, a group that helps green churches. Tomorrow night, we're going to expose the manipulation of the Word of God by the radical green movement in Let There Be Stuff, and provide ways for you and your kids to respond to this propaganda. Do not miss tomorrow a full episode that you must have on DVD. Tomorrow night. Tomorrow, a very special episode. Oh, that's usually when they bring in the little neighbor kid. A very special episode. Indoctrination for your kids. Don't miss it. This time, the indoctrination happening in your churches and synagogues. From